I want this to be very clear so that we don't vote. Let me explain again. The amendment being sought are in 1B and C. Senator Betty Apiafi is saying there is no need for the new provisions amendment. The committee is recommending that we should stick with the provisions in this principal act, and that is to vote against the amendment by the committee. So if you are voting against the amendment by the committee, it means you are retaining what is in the original act. So if you say yes, if I put the question, I'll put the question on what the committee has brought. If you say yes, then what the committee has brought stands. If majority say yes. If, however, you say no, majority says no, then the amendment she is seeking will now take effect. Is that clear now? All right. Those in favor that clause 1A, that one is not part of this, so we vote yes. There's no objection to that one, because I would have to put them one after the other. Clause 1A stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Okay, the amendment here. Those who vote at clause 1B and C stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. Nay. The nays have it. Those who vote at clause D and E. What is this shaking hand about? No, she didn't succeed alone. She brought it up. Those who are at clause 1D and E stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Those who are at clause 2 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. I will be as slow as possible. I will take clause by clause. We are on clause 3 on page 7. Establishment of the Independent Corrupt Practices (ETC) Commission, composition, tenure, and removal from office. That is clause 3. Those in favor of clause 3 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 4 on page 10. Appointment of officers of the commission, oath of office, etc., quorum for meetings, production of identification card. Yes.
Yes. They said interpretation of relation should include husband and wife. My fear is this: if, as a husband, I went into a shady deal or faulted myself in the law, and then they are now including my wife, who may not be privy to what I have done, and I didn't discuss with her. So the husband and the wife, if it is to be in prison, both of them will go to prison and then leave the children. I think it's not a good... we have to be careful. Whoever eat the sour grape, let him have his teeth. The bite him be sour. Whoever commit the offense, let him be held responsible.
Distinguished colleagues, our colleague George Thompson Seki was taking us back to 1A, clause 1A. 1E. And he is seeking for an amendment, that is to maintain the original provision. against the recommendation of the committee. So I need a seconder before I put it to vote. Very distinguished Senator Uche Lillian Equinefe Iyom. I think Senator Betty Abiafi, you can go back to your seat. You have finished your job.
Mr. President, thank you very much. I stand to second the motion as moved. The amendment as moved by distinguished Senator second.
Motion on the floor. So we have to vote before we do any other thing. So those in favor that clause 1E, if you don't want this clause recommended by the committee, you'll vote against it. If you want, you vote yes. Those in favor that clause 1E stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it. We are on clause 4. Senator Ace, you are raising your hand.
I wanted to say, if we are fighting corruption, let us fight corruption. Every corruption that has happened, the wife benefits. The wife benefits. One way or the other. Sir, wait. Whether she knows or she doesn't know, directly or indirectly, she benefits. So, please, I'm on my feet. So, whether she knows or she doesn't know, she's beneficiary. What we are trying to do here is to discourage people going into corruption. If you know that, if you do this, it will go.
Please, distinguished colleagues, this is Parliament. Everybody is entitled to air his or her views. I just want to remind us, even culturally, when you, just hold on, when you go out as a man or as a husband, the breadwinner, and you steal and come and feed your family, the family has taken lawful and legal. Yes, it's you that is a thief, not your wife nor your children. So I don't think it's a good law to say if you go and steal, even your wife who has no idea of what you are doing should be party to it. So I think this is all right. This is all right. Maybe we should look for another way of dealing with that. Yeah, of course. So if the wife, because, no, just hold on. The same thing, if the wife steals, the husband cannot be prosecuted because he's a husband. Isn't it? Those who vote at clause 4 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 5. 12. Those who vote at clause 5 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 6. Clause 6. I have not seen clause 6. No, hold on before the amendment. Chairman, Where is clause 6? Huh? I can't see clause 6. No clause 6, no clause 7. It jumped to 8. Where is the 7? What we are considering is the second column, not the first column. Yes. Amendment to, I think the way they have been arranged, 6 is on page 23, so also 7. Yes, but I don't think the serialization is, you can't have 8. I think the mistake is 8 is an amendment to section 8. And they went to say 6 is an amendment to section 20. But the amendment to section 20, Chairman, can you explain how this seems like an anomaly?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think what happened was the arrangement and the serialization of the recommendations. Because we are recommending that section 6 be an amendment to 20. Yes. Yes, sir. No, ordinarily, it should have been 6, 7 before 8. Yes. I think the secretariat will do that when it is being rearranged. 7, yes, sir. Yes.
Mr. President, sitting as the chair, distinguished colleagues. Mr. President, I know you have passed section 5, but I just want to bring our attention to the fact that that section is being amended to allow the ICE to confer the power of police, including the power to bear arms, to the ICPC. I hope we are aware of that. Yes, that's what is there. That's section 5.
Just like EFCC.
Yeah, they should bear arms. No, it doesn't have to be everybody now. No, ICPC.
You see, we are at a crossroad here. We are at a crossroad. ICPC make arrests. And sometimes they may go to arrest someone with arms who may be carrying a gun or something. The reality and the operational exigencies will require that they're able to protect themselves, if anything. Just hold on. If we don't allow them to carry arms, it means they may be so vulnerable. I'm not an advocate of people carrying arms because I believe that we should have efficient police system. But I know that we have approved carrying of arms to so many organizations. And if we are saying ICPC shouldn't carry arms, it's like asking someone to go to the Gulag because you just cannot approach someone with a potential criminal with the guns and something and you say you'll catch him. with bare hand. No matter how strong your Babalawo may be, God will protect. So, but it's up to us. It's up to us. There is a seeking of amendment. Yes, Senator. Are you seconding her motion?
Mr. President, these are peoples that are involved in investigation. And criminals, by definition, you know what it is. So I don't see any reason why we should not approve them to carry arms in order to protect themselves. Besides, these arms are released from armories based on request or the need for them to do that. I think it is very important to allow the organizations like that. As you rightly said, you can't go and arrest somebody, you don't know the position. It's not that like civil offense, but criminal offense. And then you go without any I think the institution is part of strengthening the institution to allow them to carry out their duty and be effective. That's my opinion on that.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I think in line with what Senator Ndume said, it will be very good if ICPC officials are trained to carry arms, because the EFCC are carrying arms, the police are carrying arms, because sometimes they travel out of their station to make arrests, because the arms are accounted for. Arms is not just dashing somebody and arm. Arms means they go to their armory. If you are booking for arms to go for an operation, you book for an arm, and when you return, you account for the bullets, you account for the ammunition. So I don't see anything wrong in ICPC, because sometimes they break a house, they go into a house where there are people with guns. They must defend themselves. You cannot ask an official of federal government going to maintain law and order not to carry arms, but they must be trained. The acts should make officials, these civilian officials of ICPC, should now be trained on how to carry arms. Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm here to get someone to second the motion for amendment by Senator Betty Apiafi. Are you raising your hand to second it? No. Please. You second it and then we put it to vote. Yeah, second it.
Mr. President, my distinguished colleague, I'm Senator Matthew Rogide, representing the South. Mr. President, I am seconding this motion, but I wish you allow me to make contribution. But I second our motion. I second our motion. If everybody has to bear arms in Nigeria, then proliferation of arms is going to continue. I second the motion, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, let me also explain what we are voting for. Senator Betty Apiafi, the committee recommends that the ICPC personnel should carry arms. Senator Betty Apiafi feels no, they shouldn't. So, and it has just been seconded by Senator Matthew Rogide. If you want them to carry arms, when I put the question, you will vote aye. That is supporting what the committee has submitted to us. If, however, you are in support of Senator Betty Apiafi's motion that they shouldn't, then you vote nay. Yes, information. Senator Aleru.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. Mr. President, stay in the chair. Are already carrying arms. If you could recall, most of them were recruited from the police, and they are still police officers. And some of them are SSS officers. So they carry arms. I don't know why this recommendation is made here. They carry arms and they go about, doing their duties with their arms.
Okay, let me hazard a guess before I ask the chairman. Probably not all of them there are from the police or from the SSS, from the civilian side. And maybe these are the ones.
That's the situation on ground now. Those from the police force actually carry arms on their everyday business, but most of the staff don't. They don't. Yes. Yes, sir.
Talking about the right to bear arms here, are we talking about the staff or we're talking about the officers? I think we need clarification. If it is the officers, as has been told by Senator Alero, they're already carrying arms. Those are the officers. But is this about the officers or is it about the staff? If it's about the staff,
Chairman, please, if you listen to what the DSP said, is it the staff? I imagine not all the staff, but maybe those involved in operations. But you should shed the light here.
I think what this is meant to serve is for investigation. Yes, investigation and yes, and enforcement, especially enforcement and arrest. Yeah, the operatives largely.
Thank you. I will put the question now. It's not second reading, please. Those, you raised the, I'm putting the question, please. You raised the amendment. Now you are saying no. Those in favor, and I've explained what it means. If you want them, the other staff who have no training, not clerical staff. Well, from the explanation of the chairman, distinguished colleagues, please bear with me. I said this is a very sensitive bill. And if this will be the only thing we'll do today, I think it's worthwhile. Because we need to be very, very careful with this. So those who want the amendment, who want ICPC staff to carry arms will vote yes. That's the recommendation of the committee. If you are against them carrying arms, then you vote nay. That's the recommendation being sought. But I want to be satisfied. Are you referring to those involved in operations or everybody in ICPC? Distinguished colleagues, please, please, there's nothing to fight over now. Just hold on, please. It has been seconded. It's just to give clarification. When an organization employs anybody, the terms or the function of that person will normally be included in the appointment letter. This is what you expect to do. You are going to be the secretary of the organization. You are going to be the accountant. I don't imagine an accountant carrying a gun because it's an ICPC. So I think let's vote, please. Let's vote. Those in favor that clause, is it 5? Senator Betty? That clause 5. Yeah, okay, it's clause 4. Those in favor that clause 4 stands. That is 4 now. That's clause 4. Clause 5 is on page 12. No, it's all on page 11. So those in favor that clause 4, as recommended by the committee, stands part of the bill, say aye. That is those that are supposed to carry guns. Okay. Those against say nay? The nays have it. No gun. Yes.
Yes. I just want to want you to make sure what we understand. You explain, but actually in the process of voting, I observe that is not what we are saying. Majority of us here is that the staff of ICPC, operational staffs especially, should be allowed to carry guns. Yes. That's what we are passing. So you better make it clear so that we sort out. Or we divide.
Please, distinguished colleagues, please listen, please listen. I'm coming, please. Listen, please. I've explained this in several times, and we have put it to vote. Regardless of what I feel about this, the nays got it. I would have gone for ICPC to have guns, but the day is being carried by the nays. And this is legislation, this is parliament. There's nothing we can do. So we just accept it as the verdict of our colleagues. Yes, thank you. Thank you. No, I've explained this in several times. It could be amended another time. Our personal opinion sometimes will not matter really, once the majority takes a decision. Clause 7 on page 17. Clause 7. No, sorry, we start with 8. We amended it to 6. The 8 was wrongly, written there. It's supposed to be 6. So those in favor that clause 6 on page 13, you will see section 8. It's not supposed to be so. We'll amend 20 where 6 and 7. Those in favor that clause 6 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 7 is on page 17. Clause 7 is on page 17. And what you will see here, no, the 8 is an error. We have corrected it to 6. The second column is what we are doing. Sorry? What is 13 and 14? Which section is that? Which 8? The one we corrected. So what's your problem with the... So you are taking us back. Yeah, there is a list of offenses on the first column. That is the 8, section 8. Unless we are saying the punishment is stiff. But punishments are supposed to be deterrents. If we think it's too much, Then what is the right one? 2 years. If someone steals a lot and he goes only for 2 years, comes out and enjoy his skill, but he'll be old, he won't enjoy much of it. Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't know you were a lawyer. I thought you were a pharmacist. What happened in the Seventh Assembly? Okay, distinguished colleagues. So what is there is this one is saying is guilty of an offense of official corruption and is liable to imprisonment for 7 years. It's not even giving minimum or whatever. So, who is amending? Senator Mohamed Adamaleru.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mohamed Adame is my name. Mr. President, I believe 7 years imprisonment is too severe. I will suggest that maximum sentence of 5 years, minimum of 2 years, or option of fine of maybe 5 million naira. Not more than 5 years, yes.
No, fine. Mr. Chairman, sir. Well, before that secondment, Mr. President, sitting in the chair, the committee's recommendation is asking for expunging of that particular section. If you read the last sentence there, the clause, yes, we are expunging. So there's no need for the debate. Yes.
Distinguished colleagues, please, let's our committee organized and held a public hearing. I think they may know better than we do. Slight modifications, yes, but total like this, maybe is going to be too much of an interference with what they did. But if we feel that it shouldn't be exposed, because initially people were complaining, our colleagues were complaining, that it's too severe. Now that thing is taken out, we say, no, we have to bring it. Okay, Chairman, explain, why did you recommend expunge?
Mr. President, I think they should advance why they want it back. Because we expunge it.
Chairman. Okay, so the committee's recommendation is upheld. Okay. We have already passed it. Huh? Close. Okay, that's the final one. Say it. Is there any provision for penalties after we explain this? Or anybody could just go and embezzle or steal and go home and sleep? Chairman, please address this. Okay. So on page 17 is something similar. Any person who commits an offense under section 9, 1A or B is guilty of an offense of official corruption and is liable to imprisonment for 7 years. Thereafter, the words is guilty of an offense of official corruption is liable to imprisonment for 7 years should be expunged from section 9, 1B. Did you leave any penalty at all? Those in favor that clause 7 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. I'm reordering this thing because the way they numbered them. So on page 18, it's supposed to be clause 8, not 10. Those is also expunged, right? Yeah, it's also expunged. Those in what clause 7 and clause 8 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Honestly, even the numbering is not properly done. Even the numbering. Chairman, you didn't number the clauses. You didn't number them properly. So what do you do? Chairman? Okay. So what clause 9, the new clause 9 is on page 20. but it's also expunged. Actually, most of them have been expunged. Then those who vote at clause 9 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Secretary, take note because you have to remember this. Clause 10 is on page 21. That's an amendment to section 17. Those in favor that clause 10 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clause we have come to page 23. And that is supposed to be clause 11, an amendment to section 20. So it will be 11. Are you? So those in favor that clause 11 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 12 is an amendment to section 22, bribery for giving assistance, etc., in regard to contracts. Section B, Chairman, what's the meaning of that?
I think this speaks to awarding contracts without cash backing, so that we don't have problems of abandoned contracts. So that's why it's now being seen as an offense and recommendation. Yes.
So, to award contract without budgetary provision or approval or cash backing, Chairman, why did you think this should be the role of the ICPC? Why do you think it should be the role of the ICPC? Is it not supposed to be public procurement?
Investigate or to see whether if there's a breach of process, then they should take the sanctions in the Public Procurement Act, because we may be giving something less than what is in the Public Procurement Act or more, and that's a contradiction. So the Public Procurement Act already has all the sanctions for awarding contract without cash backing. We should stick to that. So we can refer to the Public Procurement Act, because if you look at what they are even suggesting, it's very small. Because, they are not grading the kind of contract we are talking about. So if somebody awards a contract of 10 million without cash back, you allow the person pay 1 million. Then somebody awards a contract of 1 trillion, and you allow the person pay the same amount. It doesn't make sense. Thank you, Mr. President.
Question.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Public Procurement Act actually has a provision for awarding contract, for punishing officers who award contract without budgetary provision. And usually the EFCC is the one that conduct investigation and also prosecute the officers that do that. If you allow this to happen, it will amount to duplicating what the EFCC is doing. I therefore don't support the retention of this provision.
I will put the question. if you don't want the amendment, you will vote against it. Amendment brought by the committee, you vote against it. If you vote for the amendment being sought by Senator Betty Apiafi, did someone second your motion? Okay. So I'll put the question. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm looking at the Extant Act. The Extant Act. So what we're going to be doing now, in light of the amendment being proposed by Senator Alero, means that we'll be stuck with the Extant Act. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what it means.
But the Extant already provides for that anyway.
Comments, then it means we're sticking with extent provision. So those in favor, and if you don't want the committee's decision, you vote nay. Those in favor that clause 12 stands part of the bill say aye. Wow. Those against say nay. The nays have it. Clause 13. Clause 13 is on page 25. Amendment to section 25. Those in favor that clause 13 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 14 on page 27. Yeah, I think it has to be reworked. Clause 14 is an amendment to section 26. Yes, Senator Alero.
Take us back to page 5. Yes, page 25. Making of statement which is false or intended to mislead. Mr. President, the punishment here is too light. It's not good enough because many people do write false allegation against public officers or against anybody, and it is now a common thing to find people writing petitions either to EFCC or ICPC or even the police, and then they go scot-free. So punishment of only 100,000 naira is too little. Instead, let him go to prison. That will serve as a deterrent to making false allegations against public officers. And many people are suffering from that now. People write petitions just to malign,
You have to check your family.
Exactly. Yes.
Please, can you B, C, no, is it B? 2. Yes, because I can see there are provisions for imprisonment. Chairman, are those provisions for those who give false testimony or petitions?
Yes, both, sir. But I want to thank distinguished Senator Alero for making this observation. What is being recommended is 500. It has been upwardly reviewed from 100 to 500,000 for false allegations.
Okay, apparently the preponderance of opinion is it should be jail term. Because there should be no option of fine. And this is to protect innocent people that may be targeted by opponents. You know, somebody could, if you say 10 million, 20 million, the havoc that will be caused, somebody can give that kind of money. Go and pay. But if you know that you'll be going to prison for 2 years or something, you will think twice. So we have to amend that section. I don't know what exactly the amendment should look like. Senator Tyler, what are you recommending?
Senator Alero is my name. Yes. Any person that gives false information and if proved should be. Pardon? Okay. Okay. Section 25 1B of the Principal Act is amended by substituting the words 100,000 for word 500,000. It should be 2 years imprisonment or 5 years imprisonment. Without option of fine. 5 years imprisonment without option of fine. That's the amendment I'm proposing.
So if you look at the extant law on page 26,
26.
Let me read it.
Yeah.
It's not consistent with any other statement.
We have problems.
Any other person
They will
having
record it.
authority or power under any law
The thing is not
receive
done.
or required to be made such other statement, notwithstanding that the person making the statement is not under any legal order of obligation to tell the truth, shall be guilty of an offense and shall be
But let's agree with something.
and shall on conviction
Not that
be
one.
liable to a fine not
This one that's been debated.
100,000 naira or to
Pay
imprisonment
attention to this.
for a term not
They are
exceeding 2 years
ridiculous laws too.
or
They
both
put people in
such
jail.
fines and imprisonment.
Which one?
So
That's it.
imprisonment is already there. Except we say we should remove the fine or the fine. Yes.
That 5,000 naira is too small. It's too small. It's too small. Imprisonment. Sekibo,
Yes.
it's too small.
Yes, just imprisonment.
Imprisonment is better.
2 years imprisonment.
Yes, better. It will serve as a deterrent to frivolous allegation.
Liable to 2 years without option of fine.
Mark is not responding. Who is that someone?
This whole line is not working. Put off your mind.
It's working now. Okay. An offense and shall on conviction be liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. Full stop. Okay. Okay.
Minimum.
For a fine to imprisonment for a term of 2 years.
What this means also is we have to also amend the Senator Smart Ademi. No way. No. Second it. But Secretariat, you are following, because this is very technical and complicated. Those in favor that clause 13 as amended stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Yeah, it's amending 25. Yes. Then we are on page 27, section clause 14, amending section 26. Those in favor that clause 14 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 15 is amending 34. Which 27 again? We have finished that one now. Huh? Okay, sorry. Clause 15 will be repeal of section 26.3. That's 15. That's on page 27. The other one is supposed to be 16. Okay, Senator Betty Apiafi.
Mr. President, sitting as the chair, I distinguish the law establishing ICPC and what is it now? EFCC actually have the same provisions. The prosecution should be through the Attorney General of the Federation or any person authorized or delegated by him. Now, what 26.2 is seeking is to amend that section and add the word Federal Capital Territory Abuja High Court. So that means that ICPC is asking to directly prosecute, which is not in tandem with EFCC. Sorry? It's not implied. It's stated there. They're amending 26.2 and bypassing. So they're bypassing the laid out procedure of passing through the Auditor General and going straight to, Attorney General, and going straight to prosecute in the Federal High Court or any Federal High Court Abuja or any Federal High Court, which is different from ESCC Act. So, and it is because of that they are repealing section 26.3. So that means that they are asking for powers to prosecute direct, yes. Not through anybody. Yes. I move for us to remain with the instant law. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mutane yawa ba su karanta wannan abun ba.
You see, if you read 26.2, those of us who are lawyers should help us, especially the last section. You say, section 26.2 of the Principal Act on page 27. No prosecution for an offense under this act shall be initiated by the Attorney General of the Federation or any person or authority to whom he shall delegate his authority in any superior court of record. Or where is this SP? It's delegated by the Chief Judge of the State or the Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, under Section 61.3 of this Act. And every prosecution for an offense under this Act or any other law prohibiting bribery, corruption, fraud, related offense shall be deemed to be initiated by the Attorney General. This is where I don't understand. What does the meaning of shall be deemed? Can the ICPC initiate without going back to the Attorney General? Is that what it means?